mission, ensure those we serve always stay ahead of Red. That's right.
1948, the dawn of the jet age. These folks at Lockheed Aircraft and a guy named Kelly Johnson came up with this amazing thing called the Shooting Star. And as they get ready, we'll continue to just thank some folks who are helping make all of this possible.
We have a great sponsor there, Indian Energy, Rob Ryder. I was going to get you to talk a little bit about that just before we get into Greg and Scratch.
Avalon, and I put almost 1 million kilometers on it. Yeah. 875,000, half million miles. And now I just replaced it with a Crown. And I'm looking for a brand new Crown.
My old Toyota trucks got 380-something miles.
They go forever.
They do. They go forever. Speaking of going forever,
look at that. Oh, it's beautiful.
This was the #1 song that these airplanes rolled out. Today's Scratch. And his good buddy up there flying that airplane.
Scratch and wired.
Scratch and wired.
Wired and scratched.
Let's get a little rumba going here, Ricky P.
This was
It's come a long way, but we got to point this out because these airplanes really serve a valuable purpose. Just like the music was evolving after World War II, so were the F-80. We needed a way to train these pilots up. We didn't have a jet trainer, so we stretched the F-80. We put some huge gas tanks on it for extended range. And it's the T-33 Shooting Star that we see right before us today here.
And interestingly, that transition from piston aircraft to jet aircraft was made that stretched version a necessity because it was really dangerous. As a matter of fact, America's leading ace in World War II, Lieutenant Richard Long, who had 40 aerial victories, he was killed in an early P-80 Shooting Star. Incredible.
Watch the precision here. You can tell Wired Collier, a former Army guy, became an air traffic controller in Oakland. Off of his wing, a rock-solid formation pilot, Rob Scratch Mitchell, who is a Canadian like yourself.
He is. And the call signs come honestly. I mean, sometimes you can figure it out right away.
We're going to go there.
And they, Wired, you meet Greg Collier, you're going to know why we call him Wired right away. Because the man is literally wired. He's the most excitable. He never stops talking. It's in your face and it's going in a mile a minute. That's the way he goes. It is exactly how he talks. And Scratch Mitchell, it's hygiene. It's just, oh yeah, he's just constantly. And we talked to him about it, but it's not Scratch. It has something to do with making a boo-boo in the airplane. And he has gone. Let me give you his history. He was the Canadian Forces, or the Royal Canadian Air Force, CF-18 demo pilot.
That's right.
In the year, their 75th anniversary, they're celebrating their 100th anniversary this year. And then he went on after that to become the lead pilot with the Snowbirds jet demonstration team. And here's the other interesting Canadian fact to all of this. Is that these jets are the Canadair Canadian versions, and Greg got them from Canada. And one of them, the lead jet, was the last serving one with the RCAF. It was used in AT and the test pilot and the test flying that went on at Cold Lake, Alberta. So there you go.
Well, we told you just a little bit about the pilots. We told you just a little bit about the jets, and it might come as a surprise after all those accolades that these two gentlemen are truly, truly humble. They are so humble, in fact, that they've had their own song.
Your tongue is really sticking out in your cheek right now.
They had their own song written. I told them we'd play it. It's called Airshow Hero, and it's about not only the pilots. Yes. And Greg had this made. I know he says it was made by a fan, but I think Greg had it made. Just take a listen.
Oh dear.
As long as you can.
With apologies.
Yeah. I mean, I don't want to say it's slightly.
Just a little bit of ego.
And when we tell him that we played it, you have to back us up on this, okay? Oh yeah, we heard the song, Greg. It was great.
Yeah, did he play my song?
It was great. Here we go. If your ears believe. Here we go.
There might be one over here. There might be.
So hold on, let it go. Keep it going. Here we go. Stand by. Here we go. Oh my gosh. What is he?
Yeah, there you go.
Yeah, just one thing I do want to point out on that. Thankfully, we didn't ask them to sing the anthem.
That's right. Oh my goodness. Airshow Heroes, great call. Rob Mitchell up there, better known as Scratch. A little opposing solo work here. Watch this now.
Listen to the radio calls here. They call contact. They've already done that.
Still very impressive jet all these years later.
Oh, it sure is.
It's just fast, it's graceful in the sky. I just love watching it fly.
The T-33, to this day, with its top speed of just under 600 miles an hour, remains the fastest single-engine straight-wing jet aircraft in the world.
And that's worth noting because we've seen swept-wing technology come so far and really right after this design. Still wish Greg would buy one of those old F-89s or something like that. Oh, wouldn't that be cool? Oh, my goodness.
We should point out that Greg bought both of these airplanes. He has a third T-33, and it's in Australia right now.
Are you sure he doesn't have more than that? I think he seems like he's got a whole passel of them. He adopts these things like kids do kittens, you know? I mean, they call him up and they're like, Greg, we're going to take this one and scrap it all.
Scratch Mitchell, by the way, is he's in the film industry. Does an awful lot of shooting air-to-air stuff.
That's right.
Very good videographer as well as a pilot.
He has another dream.
He does. He has a dream for a leading role
That's right.
in a film.
He's ready for his close-up.
He's ready, but the industry isn't. And he's been trying for a while now, and he goes to the what we call these cattle calls.
Yeah.
And he ends up leaving with the don't call us, we'll call you.
Maybe one of those romance movies would hire him, you know? Could you see
Well, he's got the look.
Yeah, like at the end up there in Ottawa or Canada or wherever, and he would, you know, play the part of the prince maybe or something.
Maybe. But coming from the military background, as he does, he just doesn't want to do the long hair thing for the covers. But he's terribly, incredibly good looking, just ask him. And he's flying the T-33 for a Scratch Mitchell.
Now look at this.
And
This one, Wire getting in on the action.
yeah, low and fast. I asked Scratch why he didn't land with the low, but he said he didn't want to fly that low and that fast. And by the way, Scratch's dad and grandfather, his grandfather flew Spitfires, his dad flew, I think, Voodoos, and he flew the CF-18. He's 3 generations of fighter pilots.
Wow.
That's remarkable.
Spitfire, everybody remembers. Voodoo's not so much.
And here's the other cool thing. When he was flying the CF-18, he gave both his grandfather and father rides in it.
Wow.
Yeah.
Figured out how to do that, right?
Well, it's separate flights.
I love this maneuver in the T-33. Watch how big this thing is. It's a massive, massive over at the top here. He's still going up, isn't he, Rob?
Yeah, he sure is. Found the backside. There's 4 G's right there. 4 times his normal body weight.
We should point out about the physical fitness of the jet pilots. Aaron pushing and pulling, Kirby and our aerobatic pilots, Ed as well. They're pushing and pulling G's in seconds, back and forth, back and forth. Jet pilots sustain G's all the way around. It's 4G all the way around.
Yep.
Some of these turns, sometimes more than that, as you'll see with the Blue Angels and some of the other demonstrations coming up.
Watch the rejoin, guys.
So being a triathlete, as Greg has been, is a good thing. And they take care of themselves. They're very physically fit. You have to be to fly jets.
And look at this again.
Getting
Like
it
a
back.
mix master, doesn't it?
Yeah, but getting it back together is an incredible. You're doing mental math like crazy because the overtake of Greg and then Scratch tucked in with a tighter turn is going to accelerate. He's got to know when to get off the throttle so he doesn't overshoot. It's pretty impressive stuff.
You were talking about the environmental impacts of these safety oils, as I like to call them, that we have in the jets right now. Part of the reason we like smoke on these aircraft at an air show, even though we're covered by a TFR, this helps these aircraft remain visible because they're doing unusual air operations to it. And everybody in the sky can see it. And we can too here on the ground, which is pretty cool.
Greg's job, make sure you're in the right position, altitude, airspeed, and heading. Get through safely, him and also Scratch. Scratch doesn't know where the ground ends and the sky begins, does he?
Well, most days.
and so he literally lines up on a couple of spots on Wired's airplane, and he uses the throttle, the ailerons, the elevators, and the rudders to maintain position. And it is an extremely perishable skill. You got to work at it all the time.
Good point there, Rob. Right. This is a lot of training involved in this. And you'll see other vintage jet demos, and I always like to point this out with Greg Collier and his team because they do it so effortlessly. The athleticism that Rick and both Rob are talking about mean that they can put twice the number of passes on their demonstration as really anybody else with a vintage jet because of these high G's that they pull in the turnaround. The turnaround is often the highest G maneuver in the entire routine.
Exactly. Repositioning is a workout for them. They will dehydrate, though. There's no way around it. They're going to want a lot of water when they land. It's that kind of day we should all rehydrate as much as possible to stay healthy.
Yeah.
Look at the simultaneous aileron rolls. Pretty cool stuff. The T-33 Shooting Star.
Aptly named, I have to say, too. I mean, it's just the way it flies.
Didn't they make about 6,700 of these things?
They made a whole boatload of them, I know that.
Well, the Canadians made them, the Japanese made them under license.
Yeah.
Canadair made quite a few of them. Then they switched up engines. Depends on what you get.
Well, and you talk to the guys that flew back in Vietnam, and I know we have a lot of reunion groups here. They'll attest to this. A lot of folks love to fly the T-33 of that generation. They go on to maybe a flight training assignment. They all had a T-33 that could take on the weekend. This was a popular jet.
The Bolivian Air Force used it up until about 2013, I think.
No kidding.
As an attack, as a combat.
The Canadians used it into the 2000s as well, although not officially, but past the 1990s into 2000, there was at least one or two of them still around.
And I think the Air Force used one before when they were flying F-100s. They had one of those, there weren't any. I'm trying to remember why they use it as what they call the hack aircraft, an extra, but to take somebody else and maybe do a media flight. But back in the days of the F-100 Super Sabre, the Thunderbirds used T-33s as well. Go figure that.
They sure did. They had a number 8 jets.
So Scratch has a series on YouTube and out there in digital media where he goes out, he likes to go into the wilderness, fitness thing, big hiking guy, and made a whole series of going into the wilderness to find these old crash sites. And
That's not the video I saw.
and then document what happened. Look at the photo pass. Beautifully done. Greg Collier and Robert Mitchell fired and scratched the T-33 shooting stars.
Great stuff there. I saw the video where he walks out and he says, like Bear Grylls, he says, "Hi, I'm Scratch Mitchell. Watch me now as I attempt to scratch this bear." And he does. Now, I believe, for the MAGTAP here in a few moments, we're going to see the Marine Air and Ground Task Force.
I love this.
Major Sailor's going to make his video here. He's guarding right now with his honey and lemon.
That's right, because he is going to tell us exactly what's going on here, and there's going to be an awful lot going on.
And by the way, Major Sailor, retiring speed. This is kind of fun to watch.
Slows down like the old truck.
This was discovered by accident. It wasn't by design. One of the pilots just felt it was strong enough to do.
3, 2, 1. There it goes.
He opens the canopy to slow it down.
It's just a big, big speed brake.
But it's strong enough to do the job, so they use it. You'll see Scratch. If you missed it, you'll see Scratch do it. Yeah.
Well, we tried to do this with Scratch yesterday, but he didn't want to mess up his hair because, well, he works hard on it. We'll see if he...
But he lands further back, so he probably didn't need it.
Let's see if he opens the canopy here.
But you're right, he's very worried about the hair, even under the helmet. It bothers him to no end.
He and Goulian are probably the ones most concerned about the hair thing. There
No, he's not going to put that hair in the wind.
There we go. Did it go up?
No, I didn't see it. All right, well, it's almost MagTap time, and we're looking forward to that.
I hope you get to meet these two guys.
Yeah, you got to go down. They'll be down by the, I'm sure they'll be down by the crowd line here in a little while, won't they?
Yeah, I'm sure. Hey, I want to thank the folks at Valvoline. The next time